Dan Bailey from Percent LLC here with another feature update for DocScout, our procurement document inspection tool. You might recall DocScout's used to inspect draft RFPs and contracts, making sure that the right clauses and provisions are included in a document, as well as whether they're outdated or not, and making sure that if there are fill-in-the-blanks or check boxes, that those are completed when necessary. But today I just wanted to focus on a particular feature that we've been working on that's called the keyword search feature. So one of the goals here is we're trying to minimize the burden on the user by not making them spend hours answering questions in order to run an inspection. But in order to do that, the tool has to actually be capable of identifying important overarching characteristics about the document, such as, for the sake of this demo, does the document involve staff-like access? But in order to do that, what we do is we look for keywords and key phrases in the document in order to discern information like that. So if you look at this particular report that I've done, in this section here, this is where we're actually calling out the assertions that we are making about the document based on a keyword search. So once again, as I mentioned, in this case we're doing staff-like access, and the tool has in fact determined that this one probably does involve staff-like access, hence the yes. And if you hover over the info icon, that will actually give you some insight as to what the tool was looking for and what it found specifically in terms of number of keywords and what the threshold was that it was expecting in order to make that particular decision. And if you go down here to incorrect clauses and provisions, just for an example, and scroll down a bit, we have this one particular item, 3052.215-70. And so the report says this language was not found in the document, but it appears to be required. This one happens to be based on the staff-like access issue. So because the tool thinks that it's staff-like access, that clause ought to be in there, but it's currently not. Now, when a user is trying to generate a report and they're in a hurry and they don't have time in a situation where they completely disagree with what the tool has done, they know for certain that this document does not involve staff-like access, and they really need to get their report done so they can hand it over to a manager or something like that. We've got this ability here to change that particular assertion so that the tool will reevaluate based on that different assertion. So if you click on change and hit OK, what it does is it obviously switches the assertion, and now it says that this is not staff-like access, and then it actually goes back and reevaluates all of its decision points as far as what clauses and provisions actually should belong. So in this case now we can go down to the correct clauses and provisions and scroll way down, and you'll see that 215-70 has moved into the correct portion of the report, and it now says the language appears not to belong and it was not found. So in other words, you did the right thing. And we, of course, keep a record of this in the database so that we can go back and analyze and look out for issues like this. And so, in other words, if a lot of users are disagreeing with a particular assessment, we can be watching for that and basically go, okay, it sounds like we've got something wrong in terms of how we're making that assessment. We probably need to look at making some changes to the tool itself. But we've got a record of it. We know what the keywords were, so on and so forth. In any case, that was all I wanted to show for this particular demo. So be sure to check back often because we're making lots of updates all the time. Thanks a lot.